off your desks and have your eyes up to the front. Good morning, class.
Good morning, Ms. Jimenez.
Okay, let's begin our lesson today with some review. So class, stand and we're going to go over our OLEs. Okay, so I'm going to say the sentence and you are going to repeat it. And after you repeat it, you're going to snap twice and clap once like this. Okay, let's begin. These socks have not shrunk.
These socks have not shrunk.
Our teacher rang the bell late.
Our teacher rang the bell late.
The world's supply of oil has shrunk.
The world's supply of oil has shrunk.
The rain shrank our canvas awning.
The rain shrank our canvas awning.
Who could have rang the bell early?
Who could have rang the bell early?
Okay, so now instead of snapping twice and clapping once, we're going to clap twice and snap once. The sun sank in the west.
The sun sank in the west.
He sank 3 shots in a row.
He sank 3 shots in a row.
The old bell has rung for the last time.
The old bell has rung for the last time.
He has just sunk the winning basket.
He has just sunk the winning basket.
Has Jerry rung the bell often?
Has Jerry rung the bell often?
Great job with those OLEs. You may be seated. So now that I know that you have been paying attention in class, let's play a review game. On my board, I have 2 dog houses and a very cute puppy right here. And I'm going to divide you into 3 groups. Rows 1 and 2 are going to be my group 1, and rows 3, 4, and 5 are going to be my group 2. Now when I ask a question, like let's say someone from group 1 and someone from group 2. So if you get the answer correctly, you get to move the puppy up to your doghouse. But if the other person, the other group gets the answer correct, they move it up to their doghouse. So let's say Brittany gets an answer correct. She gets to move the puppy up to the second house. And let's say Hannah Higdon gets the answer the next time. She doesn't have to come up and move the puppy because it's already on our doghouse. So let's begin. What are pronouns? So let's start with Haley and Brittany. What are pronouns?
Something that takes the place of a noun.
Yep, great job. Come to the board. Okay, Hannah Higdon and what is an antecedent?
What are the names the pronoun?
It's for the which the pronoun stands.
Yes.
Where's the pronoun stand? Give me come to the board. What are compound pronouns? Claire and Molly.
Two pronouns used in a sentence?
So it's actually, they refer back to the subject and they add emphasis. Yeah. So they refer back to the subject and they add emphasis. Okay, so let's go over some review sentences. Mom baked cookies in her favorite pan. So what would be the pronoun in this sentence, Molly?
Her.
Okay, and what would be the antecedent, Anna Higdon?
Mom.
Yep, great job. For our next one, Roy enjoys petting his dog. Who here has a dog? I love my dog. I'm going to be able to hear more about your puppy and your dog in just a little bit. So what would be our pronoun, Ina?
His.
Yep. And what would be the antecedent, Tiffany?
Roy.
Yes, great job. I can tell that you have been paying attention in our lesson today. So now, I told you that you were going to be able to talk about your pet today. Raise your hand if you have a pet. Okay, what kind of pet do you have, Mariah?
I have a turtle.
Can you describe it for the class?
He's a box turtle, so he's yellow and he's got like brown and black patches on him.
Oh, what's his name?
Phoenix.
Phoenix. Cute. Who else has a pet? What does your pet look like?
I have an Australian Shepherd, so he's black and white.
What's his name?
Jack.
Jack. Nice. So I loved hearing about your pets, but I have a pet that I want to show you as well. This is him, and his name is Bonbon, which means marshmallow in Spanish. And we named him that because he's fluffy and he's white, and when we give him a bath, he has nice curly hair. He loves car rides. Whenever we are leaving the house, he always gets so excited because he thinks we're taking him, and most of the time we're not. So this is another picture of him in the car, and he loves sweaters. Like, he has a cute sweater. He has another red one, but that's the one he has here. So he is white. He's very old, so he likes to sleep just like me, and so he's very cute. And this is actually a turtle that I found over the summer, and it wasn't my pet because I just found him. My brother was running around the park, and he almost stepped on it, and he called me, and we brought it home. We put it in a bucket, and we put it on our front porch. And so we gave it leaves, and we gave it strawberries, but it wouldn't eat, and so we decided to take it back. But he is also a box turtle like the one Mariah was talking about, so as you can see, he's dark, and he has bright yellow spots on him. So, what do our pets have to do with our lesson for today? Well, just like God created these beautiful pets like dogs and turtles, they are very different, but we can see his creativity in nature. And just like us, God gave us the gift of language. Just like our book, God's gift of language, we can use words to express thoughts, and we can be creative with them as well. And so our lesson for today is about adjectives. Now, what are adjectives? Adjectives is a word that modifies a noun or a pronoun. Class, let's stand and say that together. An adjective
Adjective is a word that modifies a noun or a pronoun.
Great job. You may be seated. So what is a noun? Hannah Hayden.
The word that modifies a noun or a pronoun.
Great job. And what is a pronoun, Brittany?
A word that modifies a noun.
Great job. So when I think of an adjective, modify is a word that you probably know, probably not. But when I think of modify, I think of those ice cream shops. And when you get a cup and you fill it up with ice cream, and then you can add several different toppings to it, like adding strawberries, or whipped cream, or chocolate drizzle. But every time that you're adding another topping to your ice cream, you're changing or modifying the way that your ice cream is going to taste. So just like that, when we add adjectives into our sentences, we are modifying the way that our sentence is said. So you might ask yourself, how do I know when when a word in a sentence is an adjective? Well, an adjective actually has questions that they can ask, and that's the way you know. So which one, what kind, whose, how many, and how much. Class, stand and let's say those together. Which one,
What kind,
how
whose, how many, how much.
Let's say that one more time, and you can use your hand to remember. Which
Which
one,
one, what kind, whose, how many, and how much.
Great job, you may be seated. Okay, so let's do some oral examples. I'm going to show you what an adjective looks like. So if I said doctor's notebook, that would answer the question whose. So whose notebook? Doctor's notebook. If I said that candy bar, well, which one? That candy bar would be the question that it is answering. If I say adequate time, would answer how much. So how much time? An adequate amount of time. If I said busy crabs, well, what kind of crabs? They're busy crabs. Now if I said 20 donuts, who here likes donuts? I kind of want a donut right now. If I say 20 donuts, that would answer our question, how many? So how many donuts do I have? 20. If I said hungry horses, that would answer the question, what kind? Lastly, teacher's pet would answer whose. Whose pet is it? Teacher's pet. Now listen up because I am going to do an example and I want you to tell me which of these 5 questions it answers. So if I say mother's blanket, what question would that answer, Molly?
Whose?
If I said that t-shirt, what question would that answer, Ina?
Which one?
Which one? If I said yellow pants, so he's wearing yellow pants, what question would that answer, Haley?
What kind?
What kind? Great job. If I said 3 books, so she has 3 books, what question would that answer to me?
How many?
How many? If I said orange laptop, what question would that answer Hannah Higdon?
What kind?
What kind? If I said 50 pumpkins, what question would that answer, Claire?
How much?
Great job. So let's go in with some example sentences. So if I said, they live in a beautiful house. Well, beautiful would be my adjective and it would be modifying the word house. If I said, she wore a black dress. Black would be my adjective and it would be modifying or describing my word dress. If I said, the green grasshopper is sitting on the flower. It's a very cute picture. If I said green would be the adjective and it would be describing my word grasshopper. If I said my brother is a strong boy, my brother is very strong. I have tried beating him at arm wrestling many times and it's not worked. So strong would be my adjective and boy would be the word that it is describing. So let's see if you can do these. Stand and read the sentence for me, Claire.
Ancient coins are shown in this museum.
What would be our adjective?
Ancient
Okay, and what word would it be describing?
coins.
Great job. Stand and read this, Hannah Higdon.
Alex is a nice person.
What would be the adjective in the sentence?
Nice.
And what word would it be describing?
Alex. Person.
Person, yes. Stand and read the sentence, Mariah.
She loves golden jars.
Okay, what would be our adjective?
Golden.
And what word would it be describing? Jars. Great job. Stand and read the sentence for me, Madeline.
They caught a running kangaroo.
Yes, they did. What would be our adjective?
Running?
And what word is it modifying?
Kangaroo.
Great job. For our last one, I want to buy a diamond ring. I wish I could afford it, but I can't. Diamond would be my adjective and ring would be the word that it is describing. Now, the sentences that we have been looking at are sentences that just have one adjective and they just describe one specific noun. But just because there's already one adjective for a noun, that doesn't mean that we can't have more than one adjective or that our adjectives have to be right next to each other. So, for this example, there are 4 yellow roses on the counter. So 4 would be an adjective for roses, and yellow would also be an adjective for roses. And roses would be the word that 4 and yellow are modifying. So can you read the sentence for me, Tiffany?
Give me that big long blanket.
Okay, what would be our adjectives in the sentence?
Big and
Okay, and what word would it be modifying?
blanket.
Great job. Now, if I said she bought an old expensive mirror, what would be our adjectives in this sentence, Ina?
Old and expensive.
And what word would they be modifying?
Mirror.
Great job on those. He is a funny little man. What would be our adjectives in this sentence, Brittany?
Funny and little.
And what word are they describing?
Man.
Great job. Now that we have seen those, let's go to our last one. She is a hard-working person. How many adjectives are in this sentence? Hannah Hayden.
One.
Yes, great job. And it would be describing person. I put that one in as a, trying to see if you're paying attention because it's just one sentence. Well, since adjectives all have questions that they can answer, there can be more than one specific type of adjective. And can someone remind me what a proper noun is?
It means a specific person, place, or thing.
And would it be capitalized or no?
Yes, it would be.
Yes, great job. So just like that, proper adjectives are also capitalized. So what are our proper adjectives? Well, proper adjectives is a word formed from a proper noun. And like a proper noun, it begins with a capital letter. Class, stand and let's say that together. Proper adjective is a
Word
word
formed from a proper noun and like a proper noun begins with a capital letter.
Great job, you may be seated. So what would an example of this be? If I said America. So America is a proper noun because it is the name of a specific country. But how would we turn this into a proper adjective? Well, our adjective would still be capitalized since America is a proper noun and it has to be capitalized. And so we would turn it into American cars. American would still be capitalized since it is a proper noun and it would be modifying our word cars. For our example for Rome, Rome is also capitalized because it is a country, it is the name of a country. And so in order for this to modify a noun, it would still be capital, but we would add a noun and it would be Roman government. If I said Shakespeare, Shakespeare is the last name of a person, and so this would also be capitalized. In order to turn it into a proper adjective, we would say Shakespearean play. Who here has seen a Shakespearean play? Yeah, I have not seen one yet, but I have heard of Romeo and Juliet. And that's pretty good. For Joseph, Joseph is a proper noun because it is the name of a person. So in order to make it a proper adjective, we would add a noun after it. It would be Joseph's bed. Now that we have done that, let's do some example sentences. If I said, my brother likes Mexican cuisine, I love Mexican cuisine so much. So what would be our proper adjective in this sentence, Tiffany?
Mexican.
And what word would it be modifying? Cuisine, great job. Stand and read my sentence, Claire.
How much does this Chinese robe cost?
Great job. What would be my adjective?
Chinese
Chinese, and what word would it be describing?
robe.
Robe. Great job. It's probably very expensive since it comes from China. Robin is an Indian player. What would my proper adjective be in this sentence, Molly?
Indian
And what word would it be describing?
player.
Okay. Remember to not sleep during class and pay attention because I'm going to be asking some questions. So Indian is our adjective and player is the word it is modifying. Now, the 4th of July is an American holiday. What would be my proper adjective in this sentence, Madeline?
American.
And what word would it be modifying, Ryan?
Holiday.
Great job. So 4th of July is an American holiday. In Europe, you can visit many ancient Christian churches. What would be my proper adjective in this sentence, Hannah?
Christian.
And what word is it modifying?
Churches.
Churches. And what would ancient be in this sentence? Would it be a proper adjective or a regular adjective?
So regular adjective.
A regular adjective. How did you know that?
Because it's not a specific thing.
Yes. And it's also not capitalized. Great job. So now that I can tell that you have been learning, well, we have been learning about our proper adjectives and adjectives, there is also another way that adjectives can be used. If you remember, possessive nouns and possessive pronouns, they can also be used as adjectives, but only if they come before nouns. So if I said, is this your car? Well, your would be an adjective for car because it comes before our noun. But if I changed it up and I said, is this car yours? Well, that would be a pronoun because car does not come after yours, and therefore it would just be a regular pronoun. If I said, my car is bigger than her car, well, would that be an adjective or would that be a pronoun? Ina. And why is that?
Because it's bigger.
Well, why would it be that and not a pronoun? What comes after it that makes it?
Noun.
Yes, great job. So if I said the dog wagged its tail, would that be a noun or an adjective? A pronoun or an adjective, Molly?
An adjective.
An adjective, and why is that?
Because it's a person.
Yes, great job. If I said, it's not my dog, would this be a noun or a pronoun, Brittany?
Pronoun.
And why is that?
Because it's just
So now that we have learned about that, let's do some practice sentences. So if I use my adjective bad, how would I use that in a sentence? So let's think about how we would use this in a sentence. Haley, give me a sentence with the word bad as an adjective.
Mariah had a very bad temper.
No. Okay, let's try and remember to be nice to our friends, but that is using adjectives in a correct way. If I said clean, if I use the adjective clean in a sentence, what is an example of that, Hannah?
That is a clean bed.
Yeah, good job, that's a good adjective. If I said best, what would be an example of that, Mariah?
You are the best teacher.
Yeah, and what would that be? Thank you. And what would that be describing? What would be the word that is modifying?
Teacher.
Yeah, great job. If I said amazing, how would you use this in an adjective, Molly?
This community is an amazing teacher.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one. If I said moist, use this in a sentence, Madeline.
I'm really trying to get
It's a word that a lot of people don't like, but
this morning, the grass was moist, this morning I felt the moist grass.
great job, okay. Good job with that. If I said brown, how would I use brown as an adjective? Tiffany?
She has brown hair.
Yeah, that's perfect. And what word would it be modifying?
Hair.
Okay, and what it would be hair
Yes, the brown is the
is the adjective. And what question would that answer out of our 5 questions? What kind? Yeah, so what kind of hair does she have? Brown hair. Great job. If I said shy, how would we use this in a sentence, Brian?
I am not a shy person.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one. And what word is it modifying?
Person?
And what question is it answering?
What kind?
Great job. If I said older as an adjective, how would I use this in a sentence, Ina?
I love my older brother.
Yes, okay, that's very sweet. What word is it modifying?
Brother.
And what question is it answering?
Which one? Or, yeah.
Yeah, which one? Yeah, good job. Okay, now for these last 2, less and any, I want row 3 and row 5 to come up to the board. No, I'm sorry, just row 3. And to use these adjectives, less and any, in a sentence. You come to the board. If you're still at your seat, let's think about other sentences that we can use for these adjectives because I might call on you. I'm sorry? That's okay. Okay, so you would have 2 sentences on the board, one for less and one for any. Good job. For our first sentences, who wrote these? Read our sentences.
I do not have any money and we have less time than yesterday.
Yeah. What word would any be modifying?
Money.
Uh-huh. And what question would it answer?
How much?
How much? Yeah, so it would be how much money, any money. If I said, for our second one, what would less be modifying?
Time.
Time? And what question would that answer?
How much?
How much as well? Great job. For our second pair of sentences, what question would this, stand and read the sentences?
I think I wrote the wrong word. Don't. I write do. Well,
Oh, okay, that's fine.
I don't have any problem. I don't have any problem.
No, it's okay, as long as you use the adjectives correctly, that's fine. So read our first and second sentences,
I don't have any problem, and I want to have less homework.
okay? And what would any be modifying?
Any modifying problem.
Yeah. And what about less? What word would that be modifying?
Homework.
Great job. For our third sentences, who wrote that one? Ethan? What would be our sentences?
Any cake will do, and my little sister weighed less.
Uh-huh. So for any, what word is it modifying?
Cake.
And for their second sentence, what would less be modifying?
My sister.
It would be for weight, so it would be less weight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and what word, and what question is it answering?
Less or any?
For both. So for the first one, which question would it be answering?
For the first one, it's, which one?
Which one? Yeah, any? And then for our second one? How much? Yeah, so it would be less. Great job. So now that we have gone through those, looks like you know those very well, we can take out our books and turn to page 188. So you should on page 188, unit 10, introducing adjectives. Make sure you have a pencil out as well. Okay, now that all that is done, for think A, stand and read the directions for me, Brittany.
Change each of the proper nouns to a proper adjective other than the possessive form. Make sure each answer begins with a capital letter.
Great job. So for France, let's use this one an example. So if I try to use France as an adjective, then I would say, I like French cheese. So French would be capitalized since it is a proper noun, and it would be turning into a proper adjective, and French would still be capitalized. So continue doing 1 through 6. Okay, once you're done with 1 through 6, get your eyes up to the front. Okay, we are going to begin. We're going to start here with Brittany, and we're going to snake around the room. What did you do for our second one?
Victoria's purse.
Victoria's purse. And what word would it be not modifying?
Purse.
And what question would that answer?
Whose?
Whose? Yeah, great job. Hannah Higdon for number 3.
Scriptural command.
Scriptural command. what question would that be answering?
Which one?
Which one and what word is it modifying?
Oh, yeah.
Yep, that one was an easy one since it only had 2 words in it. For the fourth one, stand and read the sentence for me. Your example, sorry.
Oh, English countryside.
English countryside. What word would that be modifying?
Countryside.
Countryside, and what question would it be answering?
Which one?
How did you know?
Because we're talking about what kind of countryside.
Yeah, great job. For number 5, Tiffany.
Right, Chinese food. Chinese will be good. Proper food will be good.
That is modifying. Great job. What question would it answer? What kind? Yep. For our last one, Ina.
Hawaiian shirt.
Hawaiian shirt. What question would it be answering?
What kind?
And what word would it be modifying?
Shirt.
Great job. Now that we're done with Think A, let's move on to Think B. Stand and read the directions for me, Haley.
Underline all the adjectives in the following sentences. Be ready to tell your teacher the noun or pronoun that each adjective modifies.
Great job. So let's start working on Think B, and we're going to do questions 1 through 5. It looks like everyone is finished with Think B. So we are going to continue where we left off, and let's start with Molly. So read the sentence for me first, and then say the adjectives and then what nouns or pronouns they are describing.
The ancient bell was rusty and silent. Ancient, rusty, and silent were describing the bell.
And what question would these adjectives be describing? Answering, sorry.
What kind?
So what kind of bell? Ancient, rusty, and silent bells. Great job. For our second one, what would be our nouns and adjectives that they would be describing?
A famous baseball player spoke to the sports club at school. A famous baseball is all describing the player. And then would sports be describing club?
Sports would be describing club. So it would be what kind of club? Sports club. Okay, for number 3.
Robert Peel, a devout Christian, founded the London Police Force. A devout described what kind of Christian, and the London police describe force, and it's saying which police force.
Great job. So it is answering which one. Haley, here for number 4.
10 people trusted Christ as Savior during the church revival meetings. 10 is describing people, and the church revival is describing things.
Great job. For number 5, Carly.
3 Hebrew children were thrown into the fire from the time of Nebuchadnezzar's servants. 3 Hebrew is describing children, fire is describing furnace, and Nebuchadnezzar is describing the servants, and it's asking how many and whose.
For Nebuchadnezzar, it would be describing who's. Yeah, great job. So now that we have been learning about our adjectives, let's look into the look closely right under the go back on page 189. Stand and read the first sentence for me, Molly.
Possessive nouns and possessive pronouns are called adjectives when they come before nouns. It answers the question too.
Yes, great job. So for these, we have also been reviewing them and we talked about them in class, but it is easier for you to see them in on paper. So for the first example, is this your ticket? Would yours be an adjective or would it be a pronoun? Claire?
Adjective.
Yep. And what question would it be answering?
Whose?
For is this ticket yours? What would it be, an adjective or would it be a pronoun, Hannah?
Possessive pronoun.
Possessive pronoun, great job. So if I said, is this Logan's ticket? Would this be an adjective or would it be a pronoun, Madeline?
Adjective,
And how did you know?
because it is saying whose ticket or whose ticket.
Yeah, and it is not a pronoun because ticket comes right after. If I said, you may have Logan's, would this be a noun or would it be an adjective? Haley?
It'd be a noun.
How did you know?
Because it comes after the,
Because of what?
it doesn't come after a noun.
Yeah, and it would be possessive, a possessive noun because Logan's is the name of it. So stand and read my second bold sentence for me.
This, that, these, those, whose, which, what, in other words, which function as pronouns can also be adjectives when they come before nouns.
So if I said, this game is fun, so this would be an adjective in our sentence because it would be describing game. So which game? This game. If I said, this is a funny name, this one would actually be a pronoun. And why? Because in this sentence, this would be our subject. So it can be a little confusing since it is the same word, but we have them right here to reference. So we have been learning about adjectives, and can someone remind me what our 5 questions are, Haley?
Which one, what kind, how many, how much, and whose.
And whose? Great job. And what is the definition of an adjective, Hannah?
An adjective is a word that modifies a noun or pronoun.
Yep, great job. So remember that when we talk about adjectives, they help us to modify a noun or a pronoun. And just like that, God has given us the gift of language to help us to be more creative when we are talking to others or even writing papers as well. So for our game today, it looks like group 2 won our game. Let's give them a round of applause. Okay, we can close up our books, put our pencils away, and prepare for recess.